Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. Hi guys, welcome back to Saving Salvage and welcome to new car project day. I said in the previous video that we've got another cheap-ish project car to do, and I did say it was going to be VAG because I said it was going to be a mechanical issue. So a lot of people like the RS4 content with mechanical, stripped down, etc. So I've gone along the same sort of lines with this one, albeit a cheaper variant. You'd have already seen what the car is in the thumbnail, so let's jump straight into it and check out my Audi A3 2-litre TFSI manual Quattro. So before I get the car in the workshop, guys, and we'll go around it and see what it's all about. I need to put some wind into the near side rear tyre because it's completely flat, and hopefully I'll be able to push it in with the help of my dad. We'll be able to push it in, get it in the workshop, and then we can go around it properly and check out the A3. But before we check out my new project, I just want to talk to you about today's sponsor, which is Squarespace. From websites and online stores to marketing and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build and run your business. So I've created my own domain name through Squarespace, saving-salvage.co.uk, and we'll go into my dashboard. And as you can see, I've already started editing. This is a very rough edit. However, you can chop and change and do whatever you want. We started with the template. The template gave me all this, which adds everything in automatically, and it is then up to me to completely chop and change to suit what I want. The text is completely customizable. You can write whatever you want. There's loads of tabs down the left-hand side that you can have a play about with and have a look how to improve your website. Food to design, e-commerce, your online shop, and also you can have a look at analytics. Analytics, you can check your sales, you can track your traffic. You can also check on a mobile device. You can see what your website will look like on a mobile phone, which is a really good quality to have for a website. So guys, if you're looking for a website, then head over to squarespace.com and you can go on there, edit your website, and when you're ready to publish it, use code SAVINGSALVAGE at the checkout for 10% off, guys. So massive thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Now let's finally go and check out what the hell I've bought now. I genuinely had to go home after pushing this A3 into the workshop. It is very heavy and I was completely knackered. Lockdown has not been kind to my fitness at all. So it is the morning after. I'm glad I did push it in last night because it is absolutely pissing it down outside. So apologies if you can just hear rain tapping on the roof. Nothing I can do about it. So here it is. Audi I was about to say S3 then. It's an Audi A3 2-litre TFSI Quattro manual. It's an S-Line special edition. A lot of you notice it's very similar to the 3.2 V6 Audi A3 I had on my channel not so long ago. So if you do want to see that video, click in the top corner and go and have a look at that project as well. So I thought this is a little bit different. It's a 2-litre turbo petrol, so it's not as nice as the 3.2 V6, but it also has more potential as well. So the reason I picked this is because it's a mechanical issue, and I think the RS4 videos went down quite well because people liked the mechanical side of things. Not many YouTube people do the mechanical side of things, so I thought I'm going to go and get another one. So they had this up for £1,000 or like make an offer, so I offered £700 including all fees, and they accepted it. So I paid £700 for this A3, and I went and collected it. It was only down the road, it weren't too far away, so that didn't really cost anything to collect. So let's go around and check out the damage, or see if there is any damage. I am looking at this for the first time as well, guys. I left it completely fresh for you, so we'll go around this together. So as I was saying, this is a 2-litre turbo Quattro manual S-Line special edition. So it's a 197 horsepower. It is very similar to the S3 engine. However, this has the KO3 turbo, basically the same as the old Mark V GTIs. So obviously the engine looks very familiar. The main difference being the turbo. A few other differences as well, but that is the main difference. But just to go round, I don't think there's any damage, if any. It looks fairly clean. Well, actually it's very dirty, but clean bodywork wise, apart from a massive spider web. We'll do one. So just going around it. Yeah, there's no actual damage on it. It's quite a clean car actually. There's a bit of string under it. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if it's because the under tray's come off or anything. And you can actually, there's a little bit of damage on the front here where they've obviously had the towing cover and probably missed or something. But that is actually the only real damage. So I'll just check out the interior. I think there's a little bit more wear on the interior. This car, I don't actually know how many miles it's done. I think it's about 115. It's completely flat. But the steering wheel's a little bit worn. Again, we've got a bit of wear on the door card here. But other than that, it is a full leather manual armrest. The only options this car has, I believe, are the centre armrest as an option and Bose. So I believe they are the only options on this. I'm not 100% what you get standard on an S-Line Special Edition. I think it's pretty much just leather. But it doesn't have any parking sensors or anything like that, I don't think. No parking sensors or anything. So they are the only options, so it's quite a raw car. So this is the main reason I bought it, some more mechanical issues. I'll show you what I saw on Copart when I was bidding on this car. I'll show the pop out now. As you can see, look, it's just, you can see the mileage, 115,000, and we'll click on additional information and you can see it says engine smokes and turnover but does not fire. So we've obviously got to look into that. And what we'll do in today's video, guys, is we'll just have a quick look to see if there's anything obvious. So we'll take the engine cover off, which has got the airbox in it. And what we'll do is we'll just check the cam belt, just to make sure the cam belt's not snapped and it's just turning the crank over. We'll also check the turbo properly as well. And we'll go through some basic stuff, check the oil level. If all those look okay, we'll turn it over, see what happens, and then we'll probably plug VACCOM in and just to see what kind of faults we're getting. Yes, it's done 116,000 miles. So, first thing we're probably going to do is, do we read the code? I might as well read the codes first, that's probably the most obvious thing to do. So the reason, in the description when I bought this car, it said it turned over and didn't start and the engine was smoky. So let's just go and see what we've got. Mass airflow, cylinder 1 ignition circuit, cylinder 4 ignition circuit, cylinder 2, and let me guess, no cylinder 3. Right, so there's not many intermittent faults there. Well, there's no real faults there, is there? Cylinder 2 ignition circuit. I don't know if that's coil pack. It's a bit of an odd ignition circuit though. It's a bit of an odd one. You usually get probably a misfire fault. And they're all intermittent as well. So, there's nothing really for me to go off here at the minute. Certainly nothing that will stop me from trying to start the car anyway, so we'll just clear those for a minute. So the next thing I'm going to do, just to make sure there's no issues trying to start it, is I'm just going to take this engine cover off, which has got the air filter in as well, and I'm just going to also take this top 2 bolts out just to check the cam belt, just to make sure it hasn't snapped. And then I'll also check the oil level, and possibly turbo doesn't matter so much, but if I can easily get access to it, I will check that as well. So. I'm just going to not use a stupidly long tool. So let's have a quick look. Looks to be okay. Oil level's good. Oil looks quite fresh as well, to be fair, so that's always a good sign. So oil level's good. There's no real fault codes in the system that's going to stop me from trying to start it. Cam belt's nice and taut, so that should be okay. The only faults we did have were ignition. Probably going to have an airflow meter now as well. That's okay. All looks okay. I mean, you can see that there's just. You can see that someone's been here with a bloody pickaxe. There's clips broken, damaged coil packs all over the show. But we shall try and start it. Why not? Can't see the turbo from here. But we'll give it a go. Okay. Let's start it. Oh. Oh no. Well, that's not good. A lot of smoke coming out the top of the engine cover and out of the inlet that goes to the turbo. Right, so this bit of string is to hold up the under tray because the wheel arch liner from this side is already missing. So I don't know if that indicates whether someone has already looked at this, I don't know. So I'm just going to take the under tray off. I think I'm just going to remove this intake pipe here, it's probably the easiest thing to do. Oh my god! Bloody hell. Oh, this is going to be fun then, undoing this. Ooh. Come out. So guys, I've just taken off the intake pipe that runs to the intercooler, and as you can see there's quite a lot of oil in there. So you can see under here, look, it's just minging. That gearbox is completely covered. It's like not even just the bottom, it's just completely head to toe. So it needs a proper cleaning. At the moment I do suspect the turbo. I mean, I kind of expected the turbo before I bought it because they said it smokes. So I can't get to it from the intake side. So I'll have to take the exhaust, the downpipe off to have a look, but we won't be able to do that. I won't have time to do that in today's video, guys. So what I'm going to do now is just quickly go over the rest of the car, just so we can have a look. Discs are pretty knackered. Only about, you can see there, look, only about probably 60% of them have been actually used on the inside. Anyway, I did notice a CV boot gone on this side, look, as you can see there. So that's one thing. Again, the discs are knackered on the inside. What else have we got? Apart from just a lot of oil, I wonder if I'm going to have a problem with the rear diff again. Well, sorry, not the rear diff, the front diff. I hope not. I hope the four-wheel drive actually works on this, so I'll be very upset. So on the rear, tyres knackered on the rear. Well, that one is anyway, that one's okay. Coil spring, that looks fairly new and quite big actually. It looks chunkier than the standard spring, but they look fairly new, so they shouldn't need doing. No leaks on the rear shocks, but shock covers are down. So just very rusty on the rear, but looks okay. Look, car looks pretty standard, doesn't look like there's any modifications to it, so that's always a good sign in my eyes, not been messed around with before. Suspension bushes, they look okay. So it doesn't look too bad. I'm happy that it hasn't been messed around with. I'm kind of hoping then that means it hasn't been thrashed too much, and the rear diff, front diff, all the diffs are going to be okay. Rear drive shafts look okay. So the good news is the engine started. To be fair, I didn't expect it to start at all because obviously they said it doesn't start. So it's very good news straight away that we know it starts, because that means we don't have to try and chuck a load of money at it in the hope that it will eventually start. So I obviously bought this car assuming that the turbo was gone. I mean, it's a fairly cheap car anyway. It's probably worth, if it was all in good condition, running fine, it's probably, I don't really know, 2.5 to 3 grand again. So I thought £700 it was worth a risk just to have a look, see what was wrong with it. And obviously if the turbo's gone, it gives me a bit of an excuse to go down a bigger turbo route. So what do you guys want to see? And obviously you can do conversions on these, so they're the same as the S3, so you can put a KO4 in it, change intercooler, you have to change the high pressure fuel pump, you've got to change the injectors, and you've got to reroute some of the intake pipes as well. So there is a conversion kit available to make it like the S3, which will then give it around, if I did a decat, high pressure fuel pump as well, intercooler, I could probably get around 360 brake out of the car. So what would you guys prefer to see? Would you want me to see just to rebuild it, get it back into its former glory as a KO3 200 brake horsepower car and get it gone? Or would you like to see a little bit more content with this car, and if we can find some cheap parts, go down the modification route and get a KO4 for it if possible? It'd probably be a bit of an investment. I'll probably not get my money back if I were to go down that route, because it'd probably end up costing a couple of grand to get it to a KO4 standard. However, you could argue that would bump the value of the car up. So I'm a bit unsure. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What should I do with this car? Of course, I'm still assuming it is the turbo that's at fault here. There's quite a lot of oil in the intake and the intercooler, so it's a good excuse to just get rid of the whole lot and replace it anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to find out for sure in the next episode, guys, if it is the turbo, and then hopefully you guys will have told me what you want to see, and then we can go from there. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the start to the new project, small project, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.